Welcome to the Magentaverse. I didn't coin the term. It's literally in the Pantone announcement. This also hurts my eyes. Hold on. There. It's that time of the year again. The Color of the Year announcement just took place, and of course, we're gonna talk about it. You might know I did a similar video last year about Very Perry and the Color of the Year in general, but if you're new here, I'm Cristouffer. I make videos about design, tech, and travel. Honestly, I make videos about almost anything I find cool or interesting, and try to learn something along the way. So if you're in those kinds of videos, subscribe! There's a new video every week. Okay, enough chit-chat, let's talk about the Magentaverse. Sorry, I don't know why I'm like this. If you haven't heard, Pantone chose the color Viva Magenta. I still laugh a bit when I hear the word, sorry. It's the color of the year for 2023. Here's the hex code. It comes from the red family and it's a very, very striking color. According to Beatrice Eisman, the executive director of the Pantone Color Institute, this color was actually derived from nature. Specifically the red from the cochineals, which are actually insects that produce one of the strongest and brightest dye that exists. Hence the bugs and the organic patterns you see in the announcement. But this is actually just one part of their announcement, which is where the Magentaverse comes in. It's the first time that Pantone has announced an accompanying color palette to their color of the year. And yes, they do have palette suggestions for previous colors of the year, but they've never really banked hard on the color palette till now, which makes me wonder why. But to answer that, we must first check what's in the Magentaverse. The color palette, or the Magentaverse, is actually comprised of 8 different colors. Pale dogwood, gray sand, gray lilac, pale khaki, fields of rye, agate gray, plain air, and of course, Viva Magenta. Right off the bat, you can see that Viva Magenta stands out, as it should, but it stands out so well as all the other colors in the palette are quite muted. A good contrast indeed for that in-your-face vibe of Viva Magenta. I mean, even just the name, Viva Magenta. You can already imagine how bright it is, which is actually why I think they released a palette alongside it. Viva Magenta is not a standalone color. It's never meant to be one. It's meant to have that assertive tone, that extra oomph in a palette. I look back 10 years and I actually think this is the only color that has been a color of the year that cannot stand on its own. Even Very Perry was bright, but it has a light mutedness. Is that a word? Mutedness? I don't know, let me know down below. It's a bit saturated and not as bold as this one. You see it, right? Well, I guess that's what Pantone was going for anyway. They even said this.
Every year when we come up with the color, the name of the color is critically important because it has to be able to instantly conjure up an image in somebody's mind. With unconventionality so key to our message for 2023, we ourselves took an unconventional approach when coming up with our image.
But this poses a question on how and can the color be used? Well, of course it can be used, but only on very specific things. Here's what Pantone said.
It's a nuanced crimson red tone. It presents a balance between warm and cool, and it's also a hybrid color, one that comfortably straddles the physical and virtual, evocative of our multidimensional world.
For the physical world, I see this color as something to make a space pop. Maybe an accent wall, a piece of furniture, a small trinket, or anything that will make a space draw you even more. As we mentioned before, it's not a standalone color, but it can surely help add character to things. Put gas on an already existing fire. That makes sense. For the virtual world, which is the second thing they talked about, I think it also makes sense. If you think about it, it kind of does give some cyberpunk-y vibe. And it can play a part in those types of futuristic virtual reality. The strong and bold vibe of the color also pops well, especially being seen in a screen. And if you notice, the trend right now is actually more on the colorful, eye-catchy side and less on the minimal neutral color. And I see this as a good fit in this era. Though, hot take, I feel like companies just throw around the words virtual, digital, metaverse, whatever, to just make headlines. But only a few really do pull it off. The physical and virtual aspects of our existence are indeed slowly merging as one. But just remember to read between the lines and be mindful with headlines that have a sole purpose of getting viral. But yeah, honestly, I think we're just new to this, and it'll take time to find the right way to merge these two. But who knows? I mean, it surely is exciting.
Powerful and empowering, Viva Magenta is an animated red that encourages experimentation and self-expression without restraint.
I agree with that. Right now, experimentation is key. The more we take bold but mindful, innovative actions, the more we learn. And the more we learn, the more we make the world a little bit better. And if that's what Viva Magenta is gonna bring to the table, I'm all for it. And if you enjoyed this video or find any sort of value from it, make sure you subscribe for more videos like these each week. That's it! Bye!